Hello, everybody. This is a new edition of Social Economy Talks, our podcast. It is actually an edition of our holiday podcast that has become already a tradition. We did one for the first time in December 2020, together with two team members of Social Economy Europe, with two colleagues, with Nicholas Clark as Policy and Communications Assistant, and with Ali Dunhill, that was being a volunteer with us in Social Economy Europe last year. And now we are doing the third. We did another one in the summer of 2021. And the idea of this is taking stock of the year, taking stock of the main activities, the milestones, what we have achieved by working together, and also reflect about the future. And to do so, I am very happy to be joined by two amazing colleagues. So first of all, let me introduce and give the floor to Laura Almirante and then to Sara Bombardieri. Laura, please tell us who you are.
Well, hello, Victor. I'm really glad to be here. It's my pleasure to be part of the Social Economy Europe family and to be part of this podcast. So my name is Laura Almirante. As Victor says, I'm a journalist and a social media manager. I'm now a communications chief of UCOMUR, which is the cooperativism main organization in Murcia, Spain. And now I join a Social Economy Europe team to try to help in the communications, coordination, and of course, to help in everything it may need to keep spreading social economy activities and milestones over Europe.
Thank you very much, Laura, and it is a pleasure to have you on board at Social Economy Europe team, bringing all your experience in journalism, in communication, in policy, so that is very much welcome. And indeed, you work as a communications officer, let's say communication chief at the Union of Cooperatives of the region of Murcia, which is, by the way, an organization that is chaired by the president of Social Economy Europe. So this is the connection between the local and regional level and the European level. And this is why you are providing this precious support to Social Economy Europe. So thanks a million, Laura, for being part. You have always been part of the Social Economy family and on Social Economy Europe family, but moreover, in this new year in 2022. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
And we're also joined by Sara Bombardieri. And Sara is a student at the ULB. She's doing a Master in EU Affairs, and she's also joining Social Economy Europe team. She has joined Social Economy Europe team a week ago, and will be working with us at the beginning of the first 4 months of the year in 2022. So Sara, please introduce yourself.
Hi Laura, hi Victor. It's a pleasure to be here for me as well. So as Victor said, I'm a master's student in European Studies at the ULB in Brussels. And I'm very passionate about EU affairs, of course, but I'm also very interested in civil and social rights, especially equality, equal opportunities, inclusion and accessibility for all. And for this reason, I decided to apply to Social Economy Europe, and I'm very honored to have joined the Social Economy family as a policy and communication assistant.
Same here, Sara. I think that we can also we also saw your passion, and it was you contacted first, or you were introduced to me through our colleague Nicholas that left the team some weeks ago to start new adventures. And your passion about EU affairs and also your passion about the social economy and building a fairer society was also quite obvious in your application process to become part of the team this year. Okay. So the objective of this podcast, and it will be very brief, is basically to take stock, as I said, of the year, to explain you very briefly, let's say in a maximum of 35 minutes, so give you some peels about the main piece of news of this year, that was the Social Economy Action Plan. And for that, my colleagues Laura and Sara will be asking some questions. So Sara will begin with a first question.
Okay, so 2021 has been a year of uncertainties linked to the pandemic, but actually the EU could count several successes. So can you tell us about that, Victor?
Of course, my pleasure. So indeed, 2021 was a difficult year. It was a year in which we started living. We entered in a new phase of the pandemic after 2020, right? That was a very complicated year. 2021 has also been a complicated year, but has been a year of hope in many senses. And we will focus mainly on the social economy agenda. at European, at global level, but it is also important to acknowledge everything that we have done together through the European Union in 2021. So 1 year ago, for instance, and all Europeans know that, the vaccination strategy began through a centralized buying process by the European Commission, in which all member states were buying together through the European Commission. Today, 78% of European adults are vaccinated. Furthermore, although much more needs to be done at global level, the European Union and its member states, what is known as Team Europe, it's the first donor of vaccines in the world. It's the first organ. Much more needs to be done, but we have expressed solidarity as no one else has done by donating, by sharing 350 million doses to low and middle income countries across the world, mostly via the COVAX initiative. It has also been the year in which the recovery plan of the European Union, the historic recovery plan of Europe, the first time that we have such an effort to rebuild our economies, to build back better, has been deployed. A year in which member states submitted their initiatives, the recovery and resilience plans, to Brussels, and in which many of them were approved, and most of them were approved, and the money has started to flow to member states to finance some strategic recovery project. And of course, for us, it has been the climax, let's say, the end of a path of 7 years, the year in which we have achieved the social economy, this public policy, this ambitious public policy for the social economy action plan. And again, this has been the work, the journey, a journey of more than 7 years, asking a social economy Europe, and together with Honest, for this action plan that was presented some weeks ago at the beginning on the 9th of December, and then in a public event on the 16th of December.
So it has to be amazing to see how 7 years of work have this not an end, because it's not a closure, it's just the beginning of another path, another time for social economy. Because this action plan, we have 38 actions, am I right? 38 actions, yeah. Victor?
Very right.
And we, for the first time, we have a definition of what social economy is and what it means and what it includes. And I think this is gonna clear that path. This is gonna open doors. So it's now on 2022, the moment to take this action plan and take it to every single country in Europe to try to achieve those milestones we are already achieving in most of the countries that are knowing the weight that social economy has. So I'm asking you because I want to know more about the social economy, the action plan itself. What milestones or what highlights do you think are the most important in this plan that are going to change the way we see social economy, maybe even from outside?
Okay, so I will try to be very brief because that was the promise, Laura and Sara. The promise is to explain to our listeners and viewers the action plan, the main action, in as little time as possible. What are the highlights? So first of all, let's start with a collective congratulation. The action plan is good news. The action plan is well done. It is not perfect, but there is nothing perfect in life, right? But it is an excellent European public policy. It is a game changer. So congratulations to all those that contributed to building this action plan. The Commission services that were leading the work in drafting, but also everyone that contributed to it. Social Economy Europe, our members, our partners, other social economy organizations, the Social Economy Intergroup, the Committee of the Regions, the European Economic and Social Committee, and so on and so forth. Regarding the main actions, as you said, 38 actions, and I will very briefly go through some of the most important, some of the highlights for Social Economy Europe. The first chapter is about creating framework conditions for the social economy. And there I will say that the main action is a council recommendation on developing social economy framework conditions to be approved in 2023. Okay, so what the hell is that for our listeners and viewers? Look, the European Union cannot legislate on social economy. It is not the competence of the European Union. It is up to member states, and in some countries even to regional authorities, to legislate on the social economy, to develop legal frameworks on the social economy in its different forms. But what the European Union can do is support the growing number of public authorities across the European Union that want to have social economy laws and social economy public policies. So this is what the Council recommendation is about: showing the path, sharing best practices, making sure that we have diversity and differences, but also convergence, that we are going in the same direction. Each of those, each of the member states will adapt the social economy to its national reality, to its local reality, to its tradition, but making sure that we are not working in silos, we are not working without any connection, and that we are also learning from what exists, from what has been successful, and also potentially from the mistakes. So this is a highlight. Then, of course, there is much more there. There is webinars and workshops that will start already in 2022 and will continue in 2023, organized by the European Commission and addressed to public officials on mapping exercises, so mapping the weight of the social economy, and collection and exchange of good practices, successful public policies, successful support instruments, successful financial opportunities, and many other policy fields as state aid, taxation, social investment, business transfers to employees, what we know and what you very well know, Laura, because you work in Ucomur, as workers buyouts, transfer of enterprises in a situation of crisis or without a clear successor to the employees, many times under a cooperative, a workers' cooperative form, but also potentially under other social economy forms, but mostly under the worker cooperative form, and much more. And then we also have actions on taxation, on the general block exemption regulation and state aid, making sure that there is a specific regime for the social economy or for a part of the social economy, making sure that some actors in the social economy have a different treatment to most SMEs because they deserve it. Because some actors in the social economy are employing a big number of people with disabilities, so they are not, or other vulnerable people, other people at risk of exclusion. So of course it is not the same. It cannot be treated in the same way like a traditional SME because the reality is very different. So this is also a very interesting work that will be done. Exchange of good practices, and of course a whole chapter on public procurement and socially responsible public procurement, following up on the 2014 EU directive that for the first time introduced social and environmental considerations and reserve of markets, division into lots, and so on and so forth. So follow up on that, do pedagogy with member states, and also explore something very interesting, which is, by the way, socially responsible public procurement, but also private responsible public procurement. The fact that citizens and enterprises also buy more social, buy products from the social economy sector. So that's quite relevant. Then there are actions to promote social economy at local level. And I will basically mention the European Social Economy Regions, which is very well known, a very well-known initiative that has been very successful and that will continue and will be strengthened in 2022 and in the next years. So an initiative that serves to create networks of regions cooperating on social economy. Your region, Laura, is part of one. Other regions of Europe also cooperate and exchange with other European regions through this project, through the European Social Economy Regions. Also policies on clusters of social and ecological innovation, social economy clusters, creating cooperation among different social economy enterprises, but also between the social economy and traditional companies, between the social economy and universities, research centers, local authorities, everything at the service of local development, exploring more this form of cooperation to achieve local and communitary objectives. So there are actions on that, and there are many actions also to boost the social economy in rural areas of Europe. And then there are also actions to boost the social economy at international level. And sorry if I am already sounding a bit, I mean, I understand that this is quite of a long monologue, but I mean, I will try to be as brief as possible, as I promised. At international level, the first thing that the European Union engages itself to do, and I think it's very interesting, it's to cooperate more, strengthen its partnership with the international organizations that are also working on social economy, such as the UN Task Force on Social and Solidarity Economy, the OECD, which is carrying out amazing actions in cooperation with the European Union and social economy, and also with the International Labour Organization, with the ILO, and other organizations. For instance, the OSCE, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which is also promoting the social economy in Eastern Europe, Central Europe, and in Central Asia. The social economy will become part of the neighborhood development and international cooperation instruments, aiming at boosting the social economy all over the world, but mostly in the European neighborhood. So in our eastern neighborhood, in the Western Balkans, and also in the southern neighborhood, in our southern neighborhood countries, which is the southern Mediterranean countries, basically.
So, Victor, all that sounds super interesting, and it's very good to see how the European Union is concretely engaging to scale up social economy at the national, at the local, at the regional, and even at the international level. But beyond the framework conditions, can we point out which are the main opportunities contained in the action plan?
Well, that's a great question, and indeed, it's a very material question. Framework conditions are fundamental. Taxation is fundamental. State aid, regulation, policy frameworks. But then, what is new on the EU side, right? Well, first of all, let me talk about the budget. I think that's something very important that the European Commission says is that in the last period, 2014-2020, the European Union invested 2.5 billion in the social economy, into social economy projects, and now. The objective of this action plan is to go beyond that. We can be sad for the fact that we don't have a figure, we don't have a concrete budget, but what we have is the commitment to go beyond what was invested in social economy. And also what the Commission is doing quite well is letting us know what are all the window opportunities to get EU funding for the social economy. From the InvestEU program to the Next Generation EU and the Recovery and Resilience Facility, the European Social Fund Plus, the ERDF, and so on and so forth. Horizon Europe, which is also very important. So indeed, concrete opportunities. Something very fascinating is the Pact for Skills for the social economy. What we are trying to do, together with the European Commission, with EVPA, and with other actors, is to create a social economy and proximity skills alliance. Why social economy and proximity? Because you know that social economy and proximity is one of the 14 industrial ecosystems for the European Union recovery. So the European Union said some months ago, they identified 14 ecosystems, and social economy and proximity are one of them. So what we are trying to do is to create this alliance because, you know, in this time of transformation, it is extremely important to upskill and reskill our workers and entrepreneurs. Actually, the European Union wants that at least 60% of adults are attending training courses every year by 2030. So, you know, we are in the middle of this green and digital transition. To be successful in that, we need to invest in our human resources, in our human added value, right? We need to invest in people, and we need to invest in their skills. So again, together with, we will create a coalition, an alliance, together with industrial actors of the social economy, together with organizations, together with regional and local authorities, together with the European Commission to do this Pact for Skills for the social economy in 2022. Then there are also actions to boost the internationalization, the scale up, and the internationalization of the social economy, also giving access to the social economy to places where access was difficult before. So a better access to the European enterprise network that was not fully recognizing the reality of the social economy. So that's a nice new opportunity. And then something which is very close to our hearts, which is launching a new single EU social economy gateway, a digital social economy gateway for the social economy. And this is very close to our hearts because it was one of our proposals in the policy paper that we presented at the beginning of 2021. The idea is to provide a clear entry point for social economy stakeholders and actors, and individuals seeking for information on relevant EU funding, but also on relevant EU policies, on networks and platforms, on existing initiatives. The idea basically is to simplify access to existing support and enhance awareness about EU actions on the social economy. So one single platform for all of us to know what the European Union is doing and can do on the social economy. What are the opportunities? What are the studies? What is on the table? Then also something extremely close to our hearts is that the European Commission is engaged in supporting the emergence of social economy networks all over Europe, especially in the member states where the social economy is less developed. You know, Sarah and Laura, the social economy in the European Union in some countries represents 10% of the GDP. In other countries, and almost 10% of employment. In countries like Slovenia, where we were some months ago together with Laura and with other colleagues, the social economy represents around 0.6% of total employment. So there is a lot of heterogeneity in the development of the social economy. And having solid networks in every country, being able to co-create public policies with member states, with regional authorities, being able to represent the interest, being able to do what Ucomur does, support the entrepreneurs, support those that have an idea, and make sure that everyone knows that when you're starting a business, there is more than one way of doing it. So the European Commission is engaged with that, and I think that this is an action that is extremely relevant for Social Economy Europe, because we have the main national umbrella organizations of the social economy. We have the organizations that have been able to support their countries, their parliaments, their governments in developing social economy laws, in developing social economy public policies, the organizations which are collecting data and statistics of on the social economy, the organizations which are representing with one voice the interests of the social economy. So we know how to do it, and more than we know how to do it, our members know how to do it. Our member FEPES, our member SS France, our member CASES, our member Concertes, the national Italian Third Sector Forum, and so on and so forth. So they should play a protagonist role alongside with Social Economy Europe in this action. Then also there are, as I was saying, actions on access to funding and access to finance. In 2022, new financial products will be launched for the social economy under the InvestEU, aimed at mobilizing private finance to invest into innovative social economy projects. So this is also very interesting. The InvestEU is one of the key EU instruments to boost investment in the social economy. And actually the action plan says a lot, talks a lot about the cooperation between the InvestEU, the Commission, the European Investment Bank, and social economy financial intermediaries. And also actually, they want to support EU networks active in the areas of microfinance and social economy finance. So organizations like our member FEBEA, the European Federation of Ethical Banks and Financiers, organizations as EBPA working on philanthropy, organizations as the European Association of Cooperative Banks, and so on and so forth. This is very relevant. And also social economy organizations like Social Economy Europe or many other that work to make sure that the offer meets the demand, that the European offer of money and investment meets the reality, meets the ground. So this is quite relevant. What else? Well, there are actions to maximize the contribution of the social economy to the green and digital transitions. And here I think that there is one thing that is amazing that is going to happen in 2022, and actually has been already launched, which is the transition pathway for the social economy and proximity ecosystem. And there is a survey which is already opened and to which all social economy actors are invited to reply, not only social economy actors, also people engaged with the social economy, also local and regional authorities. So a European Commission survey to identify what are the main areas, the strengths, the challenges for the social economy in the green and digital transitions? What are the main needs? What do we need to be successful, to lead the green and digital transitions while leaving no one behind, while making sure that those transitions are fair? So that's quite important. Also actions opening up new opportunities under the new European Bauhaus, which is a very interesting initiative, very much connected to the renovation wave. So this idea of renovating our houses, our buildings, to make sure that we reach climate neutrality, that we cut emissions, developing local green deals, support transnational cooperation, also between social economy enterprises, issue guidance on how to support uptake and partnership for the circular economy between the social economy and other actors, so concrete actions for the circular economy, boosting social innovation, by the way, with one action which is also very interesting that will take place in 2022, which is creating a new European Competence Center for Social Innovation, and something which is also very important, which is mobilizing investments for social innovation and the social economy under Horizon Europe, which is the European program for research for innovation. And the European Commission is proposing to create a European Social Innovation Catalyst Fund under Horizon Europe. So that's a quite relevant initiative. So that's it on most of the concrete actions, Sarah.
That's very enriching. And the European Commission actually declared that 2022 will be the year of youth. So my question is, what is the action plan doing for young people?
Well, indeed, 2022 will be the European Year of Youth. We all know that youth has been very affected by the pandemic and has also contributed a lot to overcome the pandemic. We have shown, Europe's youth has shown a lot of solidarity with its families, with our grandparents, to make sure that acting with responsibility, refraining from some of our natural instincts and some of the natural instincts of the youth, because I am not so young anymore, but when you're a student or when you're really young, your natural instinct is to go out, to socialize, you're building your identity, everything is about socializing and meeting others. So indeed, 2022 will be the European Year of Youth, and the action plan has also actions to make sure that the youth knows better the social economy, and also that we have the elements to promote social economy entrepreneurship among Europe's youth. So one very concrete initiative, and I am sure that there will be others, is launching a new European Youth Entrepreneurship Policy Academy in 2022, funded by the European Social Fund Plus. So the idea is to promote entrepreneurship in general among Europe's youth, to promote the idea of starting our projects, creating enterprises, and not only enterprises, also organizations. It can be, Sarah, you said it very well. The social economy does something very cool, which is building a bridge between enterprises and other forms of collective action. Everything is not economic. It is also about promoting our interests, defending our collective interests, defending the planet, defending social causes. It's also about volunteering. It's also about becoming more active actors of the society, actors of change, right? So this is what the social economy does. And what we know is that this Youth Entrepreneurship Policy Academy will have a specific focus on social economy entrepreneurship and also on female entrepreneurship. So that's very cool, because we really believe that the social economy is very much aligned with the values of youth: solidarity, democracy, participation, engagement, providing solutions to our collective needs and challenges. So that's it on the concrete opportunities for youth in 2022.
I think we are all excited about what 2022 has to offer, because we'll wrap up a very good 2021 about talking about social economy. And I would like to talk a little bit about the definition of social economy, because I think it's very important. We're talking about social economy, and maybe our viewers and listeners, some of them don't know what it is exactly, what social economy includes exactly. So if I may, I would talk about just a little words about what it is and what the action plan actually says social economy includes. It's a clear and inclusive definition of the social economy, what we have here, based on common values and features that include organization forms and cooperatives, as we said, mutuals, associations, foundations, and social enterprises, among other forms which are specific of each MS and constitute the backbone of the EU social economy. A federative definition that unites the main forms of the social economy and that gives us all the opportunity of working together to the future that we're dreaming of, and we have that opportunity to work together and be strong about what is ahead of us. And I may add that social economy, and what I learned in this last year here in Ucomur and also in Social Economy Europe, is that social economy enterprises, organizations, foundations go beyond the economical benefit. And that's something people have to know. The priority here is the humanity, the people. So I may say that we are talking here about an action plan for the organizations and the companies that put people first and the economical benefit then, and that take care of the environment and that take care of the territory and the people that live in. So I think it's a really, really good way to end up our 2022 with this action plan and see what 2021, and see what 2022 holds for us.
Laura, do you mind if I come back with because we forgot just a couple of sections of the action plan, and I will be very brief about that, but I want to make sure that is included in the podcast. So sorry to come back and to maybe change the moment, but yeah. Just a couple of actions that we forgot that I think are important about the social economy action plan. The Commission will start the communications campaign. They have already started. There is an insistence on communication and visibility. And Laura, you know it very well, and Sarah too. The Commission already did a very cool video to promote what the social economy is. Laura, you actually translated it to use it at regional level, to show it to your social economy community at regional level. And also something very important, a new study to collect quantitative and qualitative data on the social economy will be launched, covering all EU member states. This is very relevant because it has never been done by the European Commission. This exercise has never been driven by the European Commission. We have had similar exercises, but focusing only in social enterprises as a follow-up of the Social Business Initiative. For the first time, we will be measuring the weight, finding quantitative and qualitative data about the social economy in all the 27 member states. So that's quite cool. And then about the implementation, what you said, Laura, the Commission basically is giving a hand to member states in the definition of their strategies and measures for the social economy. So the Commission is engaging itself to accompany them, to support them. And in terms of implementation, what we also know is that the Social Economy Action Plan will be reviewed in 2025. And we hope that it will be not only a revision in 2025, but a permanent revision and monitoring of its implementation in cooperation with GECES, the European Commission Expert Group on Social Economy, in cooperation with representative organizations and with countries, local authorities, regional authorities engaged in the social economy. And just something else, like a message to the social economy community as a whole. There is a promise, which is building back better. The promise is this pandemic, after this pandemic, we will make sure that the future is not just an extension of the past, that business as usual will change. That's our promise, our social promise as European Union and as social economy community. The social economy community is ready to do that. This is our DNA. It is what we do. What we do is to drive the green transition, making sure that citizens participate in the green transition. What we do is including in the society, making sure that we have social cohesion and that no one is left behind. There are labor opportunities, work and social opportunities for everyone. What we do is making sure that everyone can become an entrepreneur. You don't need to have an MBA, and you know that very well, Laura. You don't need to be a super fancy. You can also be very well trained and fancy entrepreneur, but everyone together can start the business. So this is our work. The social economy is ready to deliver. It's already delivering in this Build Back Better agenda. So let's hope that the action plan will inspire not only EU institutions, but also all the other public authorities to give us the tools to make it real and to make it also bigger. We are not a niche. We don't give small solutions. We need to go beyond that.
You're right. And we have also the responsibility, we all, organizations, companies, foundations, associations, everyone in social economy, that responsibility of give visibility to social economy to keep on growing. We need that visibility. That's why we do this podcast. That's why we explain what the action plan is, and we keep on doing so. I think we can say that this is a really good podcast, holiday podcast, and that we are really, really, really willing to see what's going on in 2022. We'll see and we'll speak about it. But now I want to have this moment of farewell to make a wish with you or with you two about this 2022. What you would ask to this year that it's coming forward?
Okay, so I can start. And actually, we have to bear in mind that the 1st of January, the French presidency will take up in the council. So we don't have to forget that on the 17th and 18th of February 2022, there will be a big event in Strasbourg that is organized by the French presidency about social economy, where all the social economy family will be gathered, and it will be really an important event. And actually, my wish is that this event will prove to be a boost for the social economy, because I really consider that that the social economy is key for the resilience and the recovery.
That's a really good wish. Victor, what's yours?
Okay, so I think that Social Economy Europe and myself as director, we have said it a lot. It is our time to scale up. We have the opportunity. Now we have the tool, right? We have the key of the door. So we have to cross the door and make it happen. So that's the main wish. Our time to scale up. For the first time, we have the opportunities. Social economy is an amazing reality all over Europe. It is part of our heritage. It is part of our present. It is part of our future. Now we have the opportunity to conquer new spaces, to go beyond these 8-10% of the GDP that we represent in some countries, and to create more jobs and to be protagonists of a better future. So that I think is my main wish for next year. And maybe something else, adding also a concrete idea, as Sarah did. 2022 will also be an important year in which the European Parliament will input the Social Economy Action Plan. The Employment Committee will issue a report on the Social Economy Action Plan, which will be an opportunity also, to welcome this initiative and to reply to the Commission to a certain extent, to make some concrete proposals, to make the actions of the European Commission as real as possible, to make them happen too. So this report will be led by an MEP, Jordi Cañas, in cooperation with other MEP from the Employment Committee, and also in cooperation with the Committee on Regional Development.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said it all, and that's another good wish. So for me, myself, I would say that I hope 2022, like it's been 2021, would be a year that has a lot of doors open and paths cleared for the social economy. And also, please, that the pandemic gives us a break. We need it not only for our companies and organizations to be able to work, for our entrepreneurs, for the youth and everything we talked about, but also for the wellness of everyone. So those are our wishes for 2022. And I would like to invite viewers and listeners, but especially viewers, if they are seeing us on our YouTube channel, please leave in the comments below your wishes for 2022, and we will answer them and read them and also discuss them, because we have a lot of work to do in 2022.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues, for this fantastic conversation. I wish you both and all the listeners happy holidays, and let's renew our energies. Let's have some, let's relax a bit to make sure that we keep rocking in 2022, and that we make sure that we continue working for the social economy community and to put us at the center of the transitions, at the center of the European policy. So thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.